saying to me, you're the first fishing show I feel like I can relate to, and that's kind of my business model. And not only my business model, it's who I am, It's like what you see is what you get. I'm not preaching to you. If I lose a fish, I lose a fish, It's like, it's fishing. I just show all aspects of fishing. But going back to when I planned it out, I look at the seasons, the species that maybe people don't target that often, or maybe they do. Maybe they want to see how to catch a trophy blackfish over 10 pounds. So it's kind of, I get the feedback from reader emails a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting. Everything you're saying resonates with us because it's kind of the exact same reason why we're doing what we're doing, just in like a podcast network of community of anglers sort of way.
Sure. Right. Where are you guys from again, Chris and Joe?
Jersey.
Oh, well, I don't know why you're not fishing with me yet,
Not yet.
Wait, we didn't all know we were from New Jersey.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I was about to tell you like my exact address in New Jersey. I thought we all knew we were all from New Jersey.
I didn't know that. That's awesome, man. How about it? Yeah.
Well,
but
hello and welcome to J Multi-Species Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Santiago. As always, my partner, Chris Pereira.
I am here again. Somehow you keep convincing me to come back.
Still here. Tonight, awesome guest, Discovery Channel show, Saltwater Underground. Host, Nick. Should I even attempt to say his name, or will it just
I really wish you would. I really wish you would.
I'm going to say Nick Honachefsky.
All right. I mean, you might be right. We'll find out when the guest comes in and either
Nick
corrects
Honachefsky has a very, very long history in New Jersey, especially when it comes to fly fishing, saltwater. I believe he's actually the innovator of a lot of New Jersey saltwater fly fishing stuff.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I can't wait to hear about that.
It is, and
for once, the guest gets in without any trouble. Deuce, can we pull him all the way into the recording here?
Oh, there he is. All right, there.
All right, boys.
Holy
Nick,
shit! It was
Nick,
actually.
We have to find out if I said your name correctly. It's Nick Honachefsky.
Honachefsky, yeah.
Honachefsky. Okay, I was wrong.
Oh man, I thought Joe finally got someone's name right.
It's pretty damn close, boys.
All right, Nick. So we'll throw you right into the hot seat right away. Like when you decide to do this kind of stuff and go down this path, like we know you've been a writer and for a long time. How do you get involved in TV? Like, where do you even start? That sounds like a project I wouldn't even want to take on.
Yeah, like how do you just start making TV shows?
Yeah, how?
All right. We're all recording now and everything, right? So
we're all good.
Oh, yes.
All right. So getting to your question, how do you get involved in TV? Oh man, it's so as you guys know, I've been a writer for I guess about 25 years now in the industry. I got into the business when I was about 21, 22 years old. And my first television show that I had was actually when I was at the editor at Saltwater Sportsman magazine, and I hosted sport fishing television for a few episodes. So that's kind of where I got my chops. And then I started or I was approached by World Fishing Network to do a show, which was called Hooking Up with Nick and Mariko. And it was me partnered up with this great angler, Mariko Izumi from Canada. And it was a killer show. So that's kind of like the first real TV show that I've done fishing-wise. And then that had its run for a little bit. And then about 5 years ago, I decided to go out on my own and come together with Saltwater Underground here. So We're running, this will be our 5th year strong right now, and it's just a lot of hard work, man.
And I see,
yeah, I mean, I
I
could
see now
imagine.
it's on Pursuit. It's on the Pursuit channel.
No, it's not. It's actually on Discovery Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Waypoint
Sports
TV,
channel. That's it.
and World Fishing Network. So I'm on every single channel that's out there that's pretty relevant. So
Yeah, I saw it on Outdoors channel, I believe.
yeah, that would be probably sport. Well, right now my Sportsman's Channel run is starting right now in quarter 2. So it just started last Sunday, and we're running all through quarter 2. And then the show will be airing in quarter 3, quarter 4 on World Fishing Network. So you can watch it then. I don't have the times right off the bat right now, but right now on Sportsman's Channel, you can watch it Sundays at 8 a.m., Thursdays at 3:30 p.m., and Friday mornings at 5 a.m. And my run on Discovery Channel already happened in February and January. So that run's done right now until 2025. And you can always watch all the past episodes from like the past 4 seasons on Waypoint TV. Waypoint's the greatest platform. You can watch it any time of day, all the streaming outlets that you have, and on their website. And if anyone really just wants to they're sitting bored at work, just go on my YouTube, Saltwater Underground, and you can watch all the past episodes there. So that's the thing about my show. It's totally cross-platform, man. It's everything from terrestrial cable to streaming to online to social. Like you can watch it everywhere. I think I'm really the only television show fishing-wise that actually does that right now.
Yeah, and we highly recommend people work as little as possible. So if you're not fishing and you're stuck at work, I mean, what else? Either turn on Nick's show, check it out. But what I was gonna say, Nick, you mentioned YouTube, right? Because those are older episodes. They go on to your YouTube channel as well.
You can watch all past episodes on my YouTube right now, but also mainly Waypoint TV. So if you just type in Waypoint TV, you can watch all the episodes on there at any given time, 24/7, 365.
Is that an app? I actually hadn't heard of that.
So Waypoint TV is the largest fishing streaming platform now, which is awesome. They have all the shows, man, all the fishing shows, and they're branching out into hunting. Any of your favorite TV shows. You don't just have to watch mine. But I would advise that though. But I would go to Waypoint TV, and you can just type in Saltwater Underground; it'll pop up. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that existed.
How do you,
huge, man.
When you do, obviously the TV layout, you do episodes. How do you plan an episode when you're like, what do I feel like doing next? Because we have that problem. How do you go through that process?
So it's funny you say it. First of all, fishing's fishing, and nothing ever works out, right? Ever. Especially when you bring the cameras on board. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll have an idea of throughout the year how I want to showcase some of the fisheries. Let me actually just back up for 1 second. Saltwater Underground, for anyone that doesn't realize this, is based in the Northeast. I'm from New Jersey area, so most of, if not all, the episodes are filmed in the Northeast in New Jersey. And the reason why I've done that is because the market is absolutely saturated with Florida fishing shows. Like every fishing show on TV is Florida, Florida, Florida. I'm doing a show that the Northeast people can watch and relate to. And not only that, but to expand the Florida fisheries, North Carolina, Texas, California. We have viewers from all over the country who are so interested in seeing our fisheries. And I'm the platform to showcase that. And believe me, I love all the Florida guys too, man. They're all my good buddies. Every single fishing show host is one of my good buddies. But I'm bringing a different attitude and aspect to it. What was the question again? I almost forget.
Joe forgets too.
Almost kind of like when you sit down and say, all right, here's how I'm going to lay these episodes out. So
I'll think throughout the year what I envision people want to see. Like, for instance, our striped bass fishing is incredible up in the Northeast, and Jersey is the absolute mecca of striped bass fishing on the entire planet, flat out. So if I want to target 30, 40-pound bass on poppers, I'll know when to plan that out in May, early June. And then if it's incredible surf fishery that we have here. So that's obviously going to be playing October, November, but I want to showcase different species. So we've done fluke, white perch, yellowfin tuna, bluefin tuna. I have yet to finally get a bluefish episode together because they haven't cooperated in 5 years. But blackfish, sea bass, porgies, pollock, cod. We've done a ton of episodes, and I like showcasing not only the fisheries, but it's the characters in the New Jersey area that are on my show, which I think people really resound with. Like, I've gotten so many emails and texts of people saying to me, you're the first fishing show I feel like I can relate to, and that's kind of my business model. And not only my business model, it's who I am, It's like what you see is what you get. I'm not preaching to you. If I lose a fish, I lose a fish, It's like, it's fishing. I just show all aspects of fishing. But going back to when I planned it out, I look at the seasons, the species that maybe people don't target that often, or maybe they do. Maybe they want to see how to catch a trophy blackfish over 10 pounds. So it's kind of, I get the feedback from reader emails a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting. Everything you're saying resonates with us because it's kind of the exact same reason why we're doing what we're doing, just in like a podcast network of, community of anglers sort of way.
Sure. Right. Where are you guys from again, Chris and Joe?
Jersey.
Oh, well, I don't know why you're not fishing with me yet,
Not yet.
Wait, we didn't all know we were from New Jersey.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I was about to tell you like my exact address in New Jersey. I thought we all knew we were all from New Jersey.
I didn't know that. That's awesome, man. How about it? Yeah.
Well,
But so you guys, I'm sure, love seeing the species that are caught around here and bringing to light the absolute opportunity in New Jersey that we have here for fishing. Because people, I don't got to tell you guys all the shit shows, excuse my language, on like the Jersey Shore and like all that bad coverage that we got for like a bunch of years. People don't realize what an idyllic gem New Jersey is, especially the shoreline and the beaches and the inland and the farmland and everything. And I want to showcase that. So my show not only takes us through fishing, but we'll do culinary aspects and go to like the top end restaurants that my friends are chefs at, or we'll go just cooking in my kitchen or my buddy's kitchen, But just to showcase that we are a real salty life type of people, and we really live that underground lifestyle here.
Yeah, I saw one of your episodes just earlier today when I was looking through some of your stuff, and I saw you basically you went right from the black fishing, had your fillets, and like walked down the street to meet your buddy who is a chef, and I don't remember the name, but
yeah, that was James Avery, I think. He was Gordon Ramsay's sous chef on Hell's Kitchen. He has his own place in Asbury Park called the Black Swan in Bonnie Reed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it. And and then so like the last like quarter of the show was him cooking up this blackfish that you just caught. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's how I plan the shows out. There's 4 segments to a show. The first 3 segments are always like related to the fishing, and I save the 4th segment to culinary aspects or an interview with like a legend or someone that's really interesting that relates back to the show itself.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I did. You mentioned the legends, and one of the other episodes I saw while I was going through is you Jake the Snake Roberts. And you brought him on the show for fishing because he enjoys fishing.
Oh my God! So this is the craziest thing, right? All the people I've had, all these crazy celebrities or whatever, but they're people that I've always like looked up to or like watched on TV or wanted to emulate when I was a kid. And all I've ever done is just simply reach out to these people, and it's amazing how fishing is a vein that runs through all sorts of different people's lives, no matter if they're a professional wrestler, a pro skateboarder, a rock star, a chef. Like I've had Jake the Snake on, obviously because I grew up watching Jake the Snake Roberts and WWF back in the day.
Yeah.
I had Bucky Lazick and Mike McGill, who are original Bones Brigade guys from skateboarding days, Powell Peralta. One of my best friends is Mickey Melchiondo, better known as Dean Ween from the band Ween, and he's been my fishing buddy for over 20 years now. Then I bring in We're going to be filming with Matt Servito from The Sopranos and Billions this year, and I've only met these guys just through fishing or just reaching out. It's just amazing how much fishing brings people together.
And that's kind of where you get the name Saltwater Underground comes from.
Yeah,
the underground network.
I'm sorry.
It's like an underground network.
Yeah, it's like it's the ethos of the whole show is that we're not really. I know everyone always says I'm not your normal fishing show, but if you watch my show, you'll realize it's not like, I want to say this tactfully. It's not like wearing like bright colored gear and saying, "Oh man, that's a nice fish you got there. What a beauty!" and all. It's like we're like, "Man, what is this?" Like we're having fun and like we're losing stuff. We're playing pranks on each other that are like not scripted. None of it is scripted. And all some of these shows nowadays are so scripted that like it's just fake. Nothing is fake. We just let the cameras roll and the characters themselves are able to tell the story.
It's I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, that's, as you probably see, that's how we do this. And anytime we bring in a new guest and they haven't seen too many of the old other episodes or whatever, they always, not always, but sometimes they're kind of nervous, or like they'll be texting me, "Hey, do you want to send some questions for me to look over?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not sending you anything." I'm like, "We just wing it. We fly by the seat of our pants." I don't even know what the hell. I don't know what the hell Joe's going to say. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
That's what it is, man. It's the underground, and like the reason why I called it the underground is because like when I was a kid, we were old skateboarders and surfers and stuff, and like fishermen, we'd always do like the hardcore underground kind of stuff, and like we even named our school bus the Underground. We're like, "You gonna ride the Underground today, or you driving in, or what?" So like it's just something that's like a little subversive. You know what I mean?
But you like freshwater too. Like last week, I saw your shad fishing.
I love all and any types of fishing from beginning to end. I grew up in Hunter County in the farmlands. My family's been there since the 30s. And I grew up on Spruce Run Reservoir. So I fished every single day of my life growing up. Crappie, bluegill, largemouth bass, northern pike, some of the trout that came in there in Spruce Run Creek. And then I love not only freshwater fishing, but ice fishing. I love ice fishing. It's just we don't really see much ice here anymore in Jersey like we used to. But no, don't get me wrong. I love all types of fishing, hand lining. Like I've traveled to 34 countries, I think it's been. I've fished in some crazy, amazing places and learned different aspects of how local people fish, and they don't do it like we do sometimes. But truth be told, 95% of my fishing is saltwater related. But like you said, Joe, I was out shad fishing on the Delaware River just on, let's say, Thursday. So Tuesday I was out there, and we lit up the shad, for the shad run. We had 28 fish in about 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you were with our buddy Tim with the fin seekers.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah,
dude, he dialed us in, brother. He was what a pro, man. And he also used to work on the Belmar boats down at the beach. So we kind of knew of each other before then. But then he showed me his stomping grounds on the Delaware River, the Big D.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a great captain, man.
We're going with him Thursday.
Tell him what's up.
Yeah, right. we just missed you. What do you think? So I did notice a lot of your episodes are actually, I know you said you do the episodes all up and down the East Coast here, and even I think you mentioned California coast as well, or did you just say you had viewers there?
Oh yeah, we have. Hang on, my dachshunds are going nuts. So we filmed in California just because I reached out to McGill and Bucky Lazick, and I was like, "Hey man, you guys want to fish or something?" They're like, "Yeah, come on out. We'll take you out." So that's why I went out to California. It was more or less fishing with those two dudes, but learning about that fishery out there too. I fished California before. I used to live out in like Hollywood for a couple winters, so it's like I fished Marina del Rey, Santa Monica Pier, Huntington Beach, Santa Barbara, Monterey, and all that. But it was cool fishing with those dudes, learning their fishery. And this year we're going to try and do a couple more travel related episodes too, like going to the Keys or the Crystal Coast, North Carolina, like all these places I've fished, but I want to focus on them because I've built relationships and friendships over 20 years with a lot of these people where I've traveled. And I want to showcase them because they're characters, you know?
Yeah, and that's a real big part of the whole thing. Like when you watch one of your TV shows, and granted I haven't seen all of them. I watched a couple. Uh it's like it's an adventure, and you're kind of letting the people the viewers be a part of it. And like you said, it's totally natural. It's not this scripted out. It's not like you're watching a show. It's like you're part of this adventure. And again, it's so cool because it's what we're trying to do with this podcast and with the
Right.
groups and stuff. We want people to be a part of it. We want people to hear the conversations, join the conversations. We tell people all the time, like, you want to be on the show, like, even if you just have a cool fishing story, you went out fishing the weekend, something cool happened, or you met someone cool and started fishing with them, whatever, and you want to
Right.
come on and talk for 15 minutes, tell a story or something, like, reach out to us. And that's it. Like, we're just here as like a venue for people to be a part of. And
It's a
I think
very
it's cool that your episodes are like, it's like an adventure that you're bringing people on.
yeah.
And
And
it's also cool that a lot of the episodes are right here in New Jersey, like a lot of them, at least the ones that I
yeah.
was looking at.
Yep.
And it's just cool for the people, even the people that live here. I feel like sometimes don't realize quite what they have right here. Like,
Absolutely.
never mind in other places don't know. Like, the people right here don't know sometimes. They don't know how good the striper run can be. They don't know freshwater wise, they don't know there's wild brown trout fisheries.
Right.
They don't, there's a lot of stuff that the people right here don't know.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, Chris, is so I'm not like a one shot deal, right? Like I'm not a show that has like, a 70-foot Viking or whatever, and we go sail fishing every day. You know what I mean? My shows incorporate everything, right? So sure, we'll fish on a 70-foot Viking, but we'll all surf. We'll also fish the piers. We'll also go on a party boat. We'll also go on like my buddy's 19-foot whaler or something, right? So that's the thing, is fishing is accessible, like you said, to everybody, right? So it's like once you're aware of the fisheries that are available to you, especially in New Jersey, you don't have to have a 70-foot Viking in great fishing. All you got to do is either step on the beach or go to a pier or jump on any of the party boats up and down the coast, for a half day or a full day out. So it's kind of what the idea is, to bring people out and realize the opportunity that's available for them around here.
What do you think, like, what's your end goal? Like, what's your end goal with all this?
End goal, it's funny.
That's a weird question.
Yeah, but it's interesting though, because in my opinion, there's never an end goal. It's like there's goals, but there's no end goal, because I'm going to be fishing until the day I die, and it'll be the same passion I have from when I was born till the day I die, right? So
Yeah.
there's no like, okay, it's all done. Finally, I'm done. It's like, or, I'm making $1 billion now as a fishing guy. It's like, I'm done. I'm sitting back. Every day is the same day for me. It's just that what I'm going to accomplish that day, what I want to set out to do. Like, I haven't gone shad fishing in 20 years, and I went out shad fishing. I caught a ton of shad, and that made my week. It was something different. So,
did you ever think when you were younger that there was a possibility that you'd actually make a career out of doing this?
Absolutely. I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Really? And you had confidence you'd make it happen.
Yeah, and here it is. Here's the whole thing. You'll never get rich doing it. I know there's like all the YouTube or the influencers and stuff that think that, whatever, they're getting rich, it's a whole new ball game or whatever. And there's certain people that do that. And I don't want to tell kids that are trying to get into the industry not to do that, but it's a long grind, right? And you have to be dedicated to it, and you have to have job. This has been my entire profession since I started out. I started out 1998. I graduated Villanova University with a business degree. my first like real job was as an accountant assistant. I'm like, fuck this, man. There is no way I'm sitting in front of this desk the rest of my life. I quit it in like 3 months. I'm like, I'm out of here. I want to just fish. And so I walked into the Fisherman magazine in 1998 and I said, I'll sweep up the floors. What can I do to get a job here? And Pete Barrett, who was the editor and the founder of the Fisherman, he's like, wait around for 3 months and I might have a job for you. I was like, okay. He's like, you just got to stack mags in the meantime in the back. I was like, yep, whatever. And that was my first job at Fisherman magazine. And then I piggybacked that into the Asbury Park Press with John Geyser. John Geyser, who is an absolute legend in New Jersey. He's since passed along, but him and Al Ristori were my mentors when I was a kid. And John Geyser called me into the Asbury Park Press one day. He goes, Nick, I love what you're doing. You're 24 years old. He's like, we need your freshness here. And this is in like 2002. So him and I built the hook, line, and sinker section in the Asbury Park Press. We developed it from a 1-page section to 16 pages of straight fishing. And he gave me all the work that I could ever want. He gave me the influence to how to design it, what columns we needed and all this. It was just unbelievable. And I've been lucky, thankful, and hard effing work, man. Everyone always says, oh, you fish for, you don't work. Dude, I work harder than most people ever work at sitting at a day job because I equate myself as like a shark. If I stop swimming, I die, right? So I'm constantly working, right? And I fail a ton. That's what people got to realize, at least in the early days. I failed so much, get like queries rejected, get people telling me, oh, no, we're not going to, we don't need new writers, this and that. And I just was persistent, hammering people, meeting the editors, doing this over and over until I built relationships. And then, everything changes. New media comes in, magazines come and they go. New editors come in, so it's like a constant evolving process. And if I may give advice to anyone who's young that wants to get into this industry in somewhat full-time perspective is, the new media, which is, I sound like an old guy, but like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok and all that, it's like, that's where people can at least create a presence. And manufacturers will start to gravitate towards them with product lines and stuff. And you build your name and get respect, because fishing, believe it or not, is still about respect and what even though it doesn't seem like that half the time, but it still is there rooted. So any young kids or anyone who wants to start getting into it, just start building yourself, show your passion, wear it on your sleeve all the time, and just meet people, reach out to people like me. I have so many people reach out to me, and I am first guy to give anyone advice that they want, to help them out in their industry and make it their, like, somewhat of a business.
Now, just real quick, because we don't want to keep you all night. We know you're busy, but outside of Saltwater Underground, I know that like you have a long reputation in the state of New Jersey with fly fishing. I've actually heard like you've been the innovator of some fly fishing stuff that's used in New Jersey.
I don't know if this is a joke or not, but that's not me, boss.
Really?
No, but I tell you what, I did it. I do fly fish, number one, but I had Bob Popovics on my show.
Yeah, isn't that what Chris? Isn't that what we're talking about?
Why would you think just because he's friends with Bob Popovich that he is also an innovator in saltwater fly fishing and stuff?
Don't you fly fish off the beach?
Nick, let me explain something to you about this show.
Wait a minute.
No, hold on.
Because it is him. I know it's him.
Nick, on this show, when Joe is drowning or floundering or just like going off the deep end, we just let it happen and we laugh about it later on.
No, I know it's him, dude.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not an innovator by any stretch of the means, but what I am is a passionate fly fisherman. So I've caught thousands of bonefish in the Bahamas and the Keys, Exuma. I've caught snook, stripers, bluefish, sailfish on the fly rod. In Guatemala, Nicaragua, I caught trevallies on the fly. I've caught a ton of fish on the fly rod. And in my recent episodes, surf fishing with a fly rod. And the funny thing is, it's like, fly fishermen are very particular about their gear, right? And you kind of have to be, right? But my fly rod, you know what it is? it's 30, I think it's 35-year-old fly rod now. It's an old Orvis rod that this one of the innovators, his name is Phil Shook, and he gave me this fly rod in the Hudson River one day in 1998, 99. And he's like, here, use this. I want you to catch fish. Right now, my only fly rod that I actually own is that 10-foot Orvis, which is now 9-foot because the tip's been broken off for 10, 15 years. And I got an old Reddington reel, so it's not even like a primo reel. And I just put new line on it. And I cast with that thing with no stripping basket, no nothing, sitting in the surf, all the lines everywhere. And I'm the guy catching fish. You know what I mean? Because it's a matter of the passion and making stuff work. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I've used the primo rods and Abaco and the Bahamas and the Sage reels and all the crazy rods. And man, when I get on those rods, I'm like a pro. So maybe that's where you're getting it from. When I actually use a rod and reel that's not broken, I can put that cast 100 yards out in front of an albie, strip, and set up. It's almost like
maybe the word innovator was used wrong, but I know I've heard a lot about your reputation of fly fishing saltwater in New Jersey.
Cool.
And then when you were oh, that's not me. I'm like, wait, what? You don't fly fish? And then you just named about 90 fish you've caught on a fly rod around the world.
I consider myself like a Bob Popovics or my old buddy Lefty Cray or like Bob Klauser. Like I'm not in that realm. I fish, but those guys are the true innovators, man. Those guys have made the sport in the world's eye of what saltwater fishing is. That's why I loved interviewing, sitting down with Bob Pop down in Bayville at Shady Rest at his restaurant down there. It's just that you just soak up like a sponge whenever he talks. It's amazing what he single-handedly brought saltwater fly fishing into the Northeast. Him and Lefty.
Lefty's the one. He's the one from Temple Fork Outfitters, right? Lefty Cray. They made
Lefty was rod. Yeah. Lefty is like the godfather, and I'm good friends with like Flip Pallet too. Obviously, if you guys remember Walker K Chronicles in the old days, I fished with Flip before down there in Florida. It's just I've been lucky and graced to be around some of the legends, the true legends.
Is fly fishing like a mafia? Why do they all have like nicknames?
I don't know. I don't really follow anything that close,
If you had a choice of your dream trip, like number one, whatever, is it on a fly rod or a spin on regular gear?
It all really depends. I'll tell you what. I tried hunting roosterfish down for so long, like at least 15 years, and I was at the right places like the Sea of Cortez, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Panama, Costa Rica, and I just never hit it right. I had some, then I dropped them, but one time it was along Sea of Cortez and Los Cabos. I was just dying for a rooster. That was like my fish that I wanted. And not only did I catch my first on the boat, but we caught about 25, 30 on the boat on poppers and flies. And then I caught roosterfish in the surf, which was the craziest thing. In my mind was absolutely just blown, But that was like a trip and a destination. Well, not necessarily a destination, but a fish that I had always wanted to catch. And I finally got it after traveling around to a bunch of different places to go find them.
Do you have like a species that you always find yourself returning to, or are you always looking for a new one?
Yeah, I'm returning to one every day. Last night I fished till 1:00 at the river here. Didn't catch anything. I casted for 4 hours in the river for bass. Not one fish, right? I failed, right? But I woke up today at like 5 a.m. and I did some fossil hunting. I'm like an avid like shark tooth fossil hunter too, all day. And as soon as I'm done with you guys, I got to catch the 10:30 tide at the river again. But
that's pretty cool. I did see you were so if the fishing's slow or something, or you're waiting for a tide, you just kind of walk the tide line there and look for those fossilized shark's teeth.
Well, there's a bunch of different nuances to it. So, like how people like with spot burning and fishing, it's 25 times worse if I talk about like the spots that I go for shark tooth.
I'm not trying to get your spots.
No, but what I do is that, right, if the fishing stinks, like we're supposed to have a gale tonight, like 9 to 12 foot seas. Um, so the surf's going to be really rough tomorrow. If it was in the middle of May or June, I could chunk out there for bass or blues. But right now, everything's kind of like low key. So then I go to my second passion, or it's an equal passion, but I'll do something different and wait for everything to simmer down. Though I will probably be blackfishing tomorrow afternoon too, because I know a perfect spot where the slack tide comes in the backwaters. And I know that they're biting there. So there's always something to do. You just got to understand the water.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of the coolest things about New Jersey is there really is always something to fish for. I mean, especially if freshwater and saltwater combined. I mean, there's always multiple options. There's never any shortage of variety here. And
Right.
and I've even said, what do you think about this? I've told people this before. I said New Jersey is probably one of the best places maybe in the world for variety of fish when you really look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
you go to Florida saltwater, yeah, they've got tons more species of saltwater than we have.
Right.
But freshwater, especially
Yeah.
in this country, I mean, the stocking program we had and all the fisheries they've kind of built. I mean, none of it's really natural, but it's become self-sustaining, a lot of it. And when you add the saltwater to that, I mean, the amazing saltwater fisheries, like you mentioned before, the striper fishery we have it's the world destination now. I mean,
It's absolutely the world's best. And I've made that declaration in an article in Saltwater Sportsman. I said Montauk is no longer the Mecca. And I know your listeners are going to kill me for it that are from there. But Jersey's the place to be, man. You look at the numbers, you look at the quality, you look at the boat fish, you look at the surf fish. It's unbelievable how Jersey is absolutely blown up and taken over. Now we're seeing more Rhode Island, New York license plates than we've ever seen before during the fall run down here. And with the good comes the bad, then it's overcrowding and all that jazz.
yeah.
But right now it's like I'm fishing when people usually aren't fishing, which is good for me.
And what's your take on the bluefish? Do you think we'll see big bluefish runs again like we used
So
to?
yes. So here's my quick take on it. So prior to about 5 years ago, let's say like 2018, it was basically 2017, or no, 16, 17, 18, and just the beginning at 19. We had incredible gator gorilla blues. I'm talking like some of the biggest I've ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating when I say these type of weights. Like the average was 12 to 15 pounds, up to 24, 25-pound fish. And the world record is, I think it's like 31 pounds or something. These fish were the biggest blues I've ever seen. They came for like 4 or 5 years here, and then they went ghost, right? In Jersey,
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now what we normally would get them in third week of April after the nor'easter that happens in April, which is pretty much happening. I think it's tomorrow or whatever next week. But that ushers the blues in. They come inside the bays. But what's been happening is that these bluefish are going straight off the coast to Long Island. So Long Island in the past 5 years has been lights out for monster bluefish. Those guys have had them like Long Island Sound, Montauk, Block Island, the Cape. Those guys have been lighting up those huge fish. We can only hope that the bigger fish will migrate along into Barnegat Bay, Great Bay, Absecon Bay, and move in again and stay there, the larger fish. Because what's been happening is they've been following like the 20 fathom line that's going straight to Long Island, for whatever reason it may be, water temp, bait, whatever. So I'm hoping that we get them this year, in those big numbers like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, why do you think that is? But I guess no one really knows. It's just kind of weird because we definitely have the bait. I mean,
Right? Yeah.
but I mean, we got better. The striper fishing keeps getting better. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it.
From what I've heard from people that I respect, there's like two kind of pods of bluefish. The ones that winter over in like North Carolina, and then the ones that are offshore, like 80 miles, right? So those 80-mile ones might come right into Long Island. When we used to see the migratory up the coast, maybe those fish are just poking out and following, like I said, like 10, 20, 30 miles off. But I don't know if you guys heard this, but the Florida fishing for big bluefish has been off the charts this year. Florida.
Really?
Which is
We have a
crazy.
buddy. Yeah, didn't you see Justin? Our buddy moved from here down to there a couple years ago, and he sent us some pictures the other day. He was catching big bluefish. He's like, "Hey, I found your bluefish, guys." You don't remember
Dude,
that?
this is the first time those big blues have been down there. I lived in Florida when I was at Saltwater Sportsman for a couple years, and the only blues there are like these 1 to like maybe 3 pound fish, and they're
Yeah.
absolutely like stark white. There's like there's a little bit of a silver sheen to them, but they're like white and very light silver. They're like completely like bleached out blues, and a big one is 3 pounds. So the fishing that's going on down there, for whatever reason, those bluefish are in there now. I don't know if they're spawning in the Gulf and coming back out and moving along the East Coast. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I'm actually doing an article for Florida Sportsman and Shallow Water Angler trying to get to the bottom of that.
I'd be interested in that when you
Yeah.
investigate that and write something up on it. Definitely
It's funny
send it.
how you remember how annoying they used to be, and you were like tried to go striper fishing, they were pissing you off, and now you wish you could see them again.
No fish ever pisses me off.
I used to get pissed when you would when they would rip my rubber shit in half.
That would piss me off. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, what would happen is it's the same thing like pickerel. I don't hate pickerel, but why does every pickerel only like to bite the tails off of my shit when I'm like bass fishing or fishing for something else? And
Yeah,
like sorry,
when the
I was going to
bluefish
say,
are around, though, you go to single hooks. If they're around, when you're fishing for bass, you're kind of fishing at nighttime anyway, for the most part. Or if you got poppers on, and there's bluefish around, you got to amp up your leader to 40-pound leader. Just if there's a ton of bluefish around, the bass will still hit it at 40-pound fluorocarbon, but I just amp the leader up if bluefish are around, and no soft baits whatsoever, obviously.
Have you ever caught a bluefish on a fly rod?
Yes. Yep.
That's got to be crazy.
Yeah, you got one fly per bluefish.
They haven't. They has to be some kind of material that they have invented somewhere that's like tough enough. Like
This is surf candy. Yeah, the surf candy will do it. They'll just put teeth marks in it, but eventually it'll fall apart. But you can catch a few blues on the surf candy, the epoxies.
Yeah.
Nick, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on here and talk to us. Do you have anything that you want to plug before you go?
Just follow me on Instagram. It's at Nick Honachefsky on Instagram. Just type in Nick and then the H and OA, and then it'll pop up for you. If you want to watch episodes just tonight, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it if you can. I'm just trying to build that following too, just to, put it all together with the television networks, and watch it on Sportsman's channel Sundays at 8 a.m., Thursdays at 3:30 p.m., and Friday mornings at 5 a.m. And then you'll see me on World Fishing Network Q3 and Q4, so July through December. And if you guys have any ideas or any questions that you want to see on the show, feel free to email me at saltwaterunderground@gmail.com. Always love talking with people, always love helping people out, no matter what your questions are. I've had some bizarre ones and I always answer them, so you don't have to worry about it. I always love engaging with people. So
we're right there with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you want to if you ever want to branch out and do freshwater underground, look no further. We've got two hosts for you.
I've got episodes planned. I'll have to be looking you guys up. Believe me, I do want to film freshwater episodes too, and an ice fishing episode. It's not just, it's all saltwater, but I do want to branch out into that to showcase those fisheries as well, of course,
We can't talk about ice fishing.
Yeah, if you talk about ice fishing, I'm gonna throw a fucking temper tantrum. I'm gonna smash my bobber mug all over. Nah. I love ice fishing so much. We just love it, and we just get screwed year after year. And
4 years now, no ice.
But Nick, I even have a buddy in upstate New York, and we're even getting screwed up there. I can't even go up there and fish with him anymore. We're fishing on like a slushy 3 inches of ice, barely surviving to get a couple of days up.
Bud Lake had 3.5 inches. That's usually that, and Lake Apacong are the first to freeze. And You always hear how many inches, 3 inches, 3.5, and I'm like a bigger dude. So 5 inches is minimum for me. But I have a friend, Zach Merchant, skinny little kid who's like 100 pounds soaking wet. And he gets out there on 3 inches of ice. So we always like gauge him. Did Zach fall in or not? He was like, no, I caught a bunch of blake and muskies. I'm like, all right.
Maybe he could hook the fish for you and then walk the thing over and pass it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick, thank you so much. And anyone watching, please check out Saltwater Underground. Hopefully, we'll have you back on in the future.
Yeah, hopefully we get out fishing with you. I mean, we got
guys, Striper Run is just starting right now. I really want to get you guys down here, and you both you guys in the surf on the boat or whatever, man. This bass run is starting. I want to tackle you guys into some fish because you'll be flying with the innovator of fly fishing here, Nick Honachefsky.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna
That's
hear
the
this
end
shit
of
for
the
the
show
rest
right
of my
there.
life
Perfect.
now. Oh God, Nick, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I love the NJ Multi-Species podcast, just so you know.
Thank you, dude.
Hey, we appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
See you, Nick.
No, that was cool. That was actually we've never met Nick before. That was the first time we've met him, if you want to call talking to someone over the internet meeting. But
yeah.
Hopefully we get to meet him in person one day.
Yeah,
and
hopefully
fish
we'll get to go fish with him. That'd be cool.
We'll set something up for sure.
That was I was kind of caught off guard because like he started like describing his show and like his whole thing was like what this is, and I was like, oh my God, like this is the same shit as you're doing. Like, did we copy you? I was like, oh my God. I was like, shocked.
This was your idea. Did you copy him?
I don't know. No, I didn't. No, I kind of copied Jerry Zagorski in like a 2000 Terminator, like in a futuristic edition. But that dude just came on here and he like pretty much did this 20 years ago already. So we're just copycats now.
Well, he did it, Well, what I thought was interesting is when he said like early 2000s was when he kind of started writing, I think. I believe that's what he said. And I thought, oh man, I'm like, that's just when the internet stuff was becoming more and more popular. So he kind of like, for him to have had that kind of success starting at that time seemed
well, he's coming from like
cool.
He's coming from like the writing end. But if you notice, he was like, he's looking for people to subscribe to his YouTube channel, and he was talking about like the new social media, and that's kind of like where we are. We're in that new horrifying world of he's kind of still in the old school, that TV. It's just a different ballpark, but now he's coming in.
It's easily combined too, right? I mean,
I think this, you could try to start this from almost nothing. I don't know if you could pull that off from nothing because it's just such a bigger build out and you need a lot of money and stuff. But
no, he definitely had to have the background, which he had obviously, and no, I mean he's used it well for sure. Like he said, it wasn't easy. He's been working hard, but he's made it work for sure.
Yeah, he was kind of inspiring to listen to, and he kind of pretty much said it flat out that it's just a grind, but he's living proof that it's possible.
And like you said, it's cool because while he was explaining it, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, shit, that's exactly what we're doing in a podcast form. And, same, and everything he was saying, he wants people to talk. He wants to meet new people. He wants to meet these characters fishing in New Jersey. Yeah, you get a couple of fucking bad eggs here and there, obviously, that we've experienced.
Only a couple?
Yeah, I would say only a couple.
The only other difference, too, is like his videos is like him fishing for rooster fish in like Venezuela. And my videos are me on Lake Apacon getting like snowed on. There's no fish in the videos at all. So his stuff's actually interesting to look at.
Dude, he does a lot of stuff just right here in New Jersey.
Oh, I know he does. I know he does. I saw a lot of surf fishing episodes from when I looked through his stuff. But yeah, overwhelming, and I'm sure he's busy. And like he said, now he's going to branch out and try to do a lot more travel episodes. So that's cool. That's a cool career.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I mean, look, I can't wait till we get to meet him in person and go fishing with him. I mean, who knows? We could probably make some pretty cool episodes with him.
I doubt it.
No?
We'd probably ruin his show. Be his lowest rated episode.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We should definitely get him a shirt because it seems like he likes to suffer for the fish as well.
Guy's been fishing with Lefty Cray. Now he's like, oh yeah, I fished with Joe Santiago and Chris Pereira. Oh yeah, ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Dude, but I admit it'd be hilarious, no?
It'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, for him and not for us.
That's true. So we don't have to care. Whatever.
It's impossible to embarrass me, I think.
I don't know.
That's I guess I just made a terrible challenge.
You still won't publicly do the karaoke thing, nor will you really admit to it.
I 100% admitted to it in like the third or fourth episode. I
so
even told you
karaoke is a big hobby for you.
No, I wouldn't say it's a big hobby. I've done it. I'll do it. And I even told you what my favorite song was.
Do you do it laying on the couch?